enjoy your guy pretending to be Han Solo movie. I enjoyed the guy pretending to be Han Solo movie. Hello everyone, how's it going? We just finished how Black Panther should have ended and I just saw the new Star Wars story Solo, so it's another good time for another HISHE review. That's right, I said HISHE. So what do you say? You want to talk some Solo? Let's get to it!
Gonna be in Star Wars, gonna be a pilot, gonna meet Chewbacca, gonna fly the Falcon Solo, Han Solo, Han Solo, Han Solo, Solo.
Ah man, I wish that song wasn't a real thing and I just made that up. I apologize. Solo! The second Star Wars story to cram somewhere in between those prequels and original trilogy that sprinkles a few more details that you may or may not have been interested in knowing on characters and stories you already knew about. Where Rogue One focuses on how the rebels got them Death Star plans, Solo focuses on, you guessed it, the origins of Han Solo and company. Where did they all meet? Who's that new girl? And ooh, the Millennium Falcon is shiny. It's a very light film, it doesn't have too much depth, but I thought it was still a good fun adventure that totally sets up new paths to keep these new Star Wars stories going, which is where I think the line in the sand is drawn for a lot of people. Some might call that milking the franchise to death, where other fans might think, I've been waiting my whole life for more Star Wars, so bring on the stories! Personally, I think it's a little bit of both. Originally directed by the Lego Movie guys, and then something went weird, and then suddenly, Ron Howard has the job. The news made everyone overly skeptical, and like most established movies rooted in our childhood, the internet did not think this movie was a good idea, myself included. But I'm not too proud to say that I was pleasantly converted. I thought the film was good, I had a good time. I have plenty of questions and some annoyances which we can get to later, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the movie. I say go check it out. It's not gonna wreck your childhood. It does add some new layers to the memory of Han, but they aren't complete deal breakers. So, if you wanna dive in, then let's talk spoilers.
Dun, 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 spoiler warning, spoiler warning. Dun, 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 please don't spoil the movie for yourself.
I can't believe they showed Boba Fett with a Mace Windu tattoo on his neck. I'm kidding, that's not a thing. And Boba Fett isn't really seen in the movie as far as I know. He's probably like hidden in the shadows, but anyway, I didn't see him. Spoilers ahead, people. What did I like about the movie? I love the cinematography. I like the style of these Star Wars stories so far. They don't feel like green screen studio production. They feel like real, get your hands dirty filmmaking. They're actually outside! Look at the wind! It's so real. Bradford Young's cinematography in Solo is very much like a classic Western. Everything is backlit, making a lot of high contrast images. It just looks cool. What'd you think of the opening text? I don't really like that there isn't a constant opening style for the Star Wars story yet. I suppose I prefer this blue text style. Anyway, you guys don't care about text.
What did you think about Han?
If you watched my Rogue One review, you know I was not a fan of this Han Solo casting. For whatever reason, the powers that be at Star Wars didn't want Anthony and Gruber to be Han Solo, so when they released that short list of actors, I just thought, oh well, this is gonna suck. And then, after I saw Baby Driver with Ansel Elgort, I thought, well, you guys certainly chose wrong, short list. That kid is totally a young Han Solo. But after a while, I got tired of having my arms crossed about the whole issue, and I watched the movie with pretty low expectations. And I found myself thinking, this Alden guy has some charm. I mean, he's got that tough guy kind of look. He's pointing his blaster the same way you expect Han to do. It's not perfect, but you can tell they're trying to do Han justice. This might actually work. I think I like this version of Han Solo. Yeah, for a young Han Solo series, I support this guy. If they're intending to make more movies with young Han Solo, which I think they are, then I can accept this version of him.
What do you think about the story?
Overall, I thought the story was kind of but only because the story feels a little incomplete. It ends right when specific questions are brought to the table. They're supposed to be cliffhangers, but they're also why the film is a little unsatisfying. The story with Qi'ra and Han feels really unresolved, which I'll touch more on later. So in a way, the movie felt like a show pilot where they just bring up some possibilities to get you excited about the show, but if it doesn't really get picked up, at least they sold you a pretty good story for the one time through. So it's good, but it's pretty much just a launch pad.
What about Chewbacca?
Man, Chewbacca sucked. He's in the mud, and they're like taking a shower together. Like, what's up with this? I'm just kidding. Chewie is so much the heart of Star Wars, it's impossible not to love him. Every time he's on screen, you just feel like, I love Star Wars. It's Chewbacca. He's making noises. He's so cute and awesome. If you don't like Chewbacca, then I feel bad for your grumpy gill soul.
What about Lando? Yeah.
This is a gambler. Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian. I thought Donald Glover was so good. He is an awesome Lando, so 3 cheers to that. And 3 cheers for making him say Han. That little detail bugged me so much as a kid when Lando would call Han Han, and others were clearly saying it differently. I was like, why is he doing it like that? So to see them put that in this movie just felt so right. Lando was great, so of course I want another episode with him.
Did you like L337?
I did. She's got a lot of great moments. The droids are kind of stealing the show in Star Wars lately. Like K2SO and BB-8 all have their spotlight. I guess they have to top that 3PO and R2-D2 screen presence. Which also, no C-3PO and R2-D2 in this movie. Isn't that like Star Wars sacrilege? Or did I miss them? I guess another shoehorn segment like in Rogue One would have felt kind of silly to do that twice. But they were a Star Wars constant until now. It's kind of sad they're not there this time. But I thought L337 was cool. I don't know how I feel about her being uploaded into the Falcon. Like, the Falcon is now part droid revolution. Even the Millennium Falcon has to have like a rebel spirit at heart, I guess. But it adds a new layer to when you think about R2-D2 talking to the Falcon in old movies. Now there's an actual voice that you can imagine, which makes sense.
What did you not like about the movie?
My biggest complaint was that I didn't like that the Empire named Han Solo. That whole concept felt weird to me, like Han would just take any last name from the Empire and then keep it as his name. This is either a giant setup for something years to come down the road, or it's just sloppy character development, so I didn't really like that about his name.
What else?
I didn't like that the Kessel Run wasn't really like an important thing. It wasn't really witnessed by anyone. Han's fame is just him dropping lines like, I made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. And nobody is like, well, put this guy's name on the board, because that's never happened before. Hey, Johnny, did you hear the news? This guy did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. He's gonna be a legend. I wouldn't really want that dialogue necessarily, but I really expected the Kessel Run to be something totally different. I was also expecting it to be the reason Han won the Millennium Falcon, but so much for that. What did you think of the evil vision? So Paul Bettany plays the new crime lord Dryden Voss, who leads the Crimson Dawn. And I don't know if it's just because he's not this gross, slimy, fat slug creature, but I thought he was the first Star Wars crime boss character that actually felt intimidating. Maybe it's just because he's a human, you can kind of see the emotion in his face, but I thought he was really good. What about Infant's Nest?
Spoiler alert, she's a girl! Wow! Isn't that so unbelievable?
No, I'm actually completely fine with girls being strong, in real life and in movies. So if this was supposed to be a shock reveal, what? She's a girl? That's so crazy! It didn't really stick for me. They sort of make you think that Infant's Nest could be the daughter of Beckett and Val, but it goes nowhere. And then the twist is she's actually helping the supplies for the rebellion, so she was bad, but plot twist, she's really the good guy after all. Kind of like Han. What'd you think about Beckett? I thought Beckett was fine. I mean, he's giving Han everything, like the gun, and he's teaching him along the way, but it didn't really have a deep impact on me. However, his entire purpose of the film is my favorite thing about the movie, so...
What was your favorite?
My favorite part about this film is that it's one giant reason to show where Han learned to always shoot first. If that doesn't speak volumes to the whole special edition decisions from years back, I don't know what does. George Lucas gives up Star Wars and they're like, we need to make a Star Wars movie about Han Solo learning to blast some fool like he does to Greedo in 1977. Nobody's gonna shoot at the same time. There's not gonna be a weird head jolt. He's gonna blast someone right in the chest. Blam! I love it. That's Han Solo, that's a scoundrel, that's the dude. So what was the point? To make Han shoot first, I said that, duh. I tried to look for a deeper message in the story. At one point, Lando says something along the lines of, I don't like it, I don't agree with it, but I accept it. I felt like this was kind of the source of most people's motivation in the movie. Beckett's lesson was don't trust anyone and you'll never be disappointed. But Han and Chewie totally trust one another, so I don't think that rule works for everyone. I think the point of the story is the question, can bad guys be good?
You know, because Suicide Squad's great, you guys. You just don't understand. It's misunderstood.
I'm joking. But if you look at the love story in this movie, it reflects this idea. You see Han asking Qi'ra to go with him after all they've been through, but she resists. But not because she doesn't want to. It's from a trapped stance. saying, "It's too late for me. I've done things you wouldn't agree with. She was good, but now she has serious baggage and she's a part of something that she can't get away from." And then it's revealed that, surprise, that thing she can't get away from is Darth Maul, you guys. He's not dead, and he's got new Lieutenant Dan legs, just like from the Rebels or Clone Wars or one of those series. And these new twists make you go, what? And then that's when the movie actually finally gets intriguing. Everything else was like safe and like I kind of knew what to expect, you know. But now I feel like something bigger is going on here with the whole George Lucas, it's like poetry, see, that they rhyme kind of thing. If this is important, it means that Qi'ra could be drifting to the dark side, but there's still good in her, yet she feels it's too late for her. Does that sound familiar?
It is too late for me.
If this is what's happening, I think this is kind of cool because I want to believe we are seeing the beginning of a bigger story linked to Han. So,
New Star Wars theory time! Because nobody gets their hopes up with those and ends up being totally wrong, right?
yay, new theory! I'm sure nobody else is thinking this is a possibility, but now, because of this movie, I think Qi'ra is actually going to be Rey's mother, which will be revealed in a future Star Wars story or in Episode 9. Emilia Clarke is easily a good choice for being a mother of a strong, powerful character, and I can totally see a plot where Han gets involved on Tatooine and tries to get Qi'ra back, but she ditches him for good once and for all in this sad, "it was never meant to be, Han Mabuki" kind of scene, which would make all of those future Force Awakens scenes we've had with Rey and Han even more meaningful when you watch them a second time.
And Han Solo, you feel like he's the father you never had. He would have disappointed you.
I hope that's what's going on, but who knows? Maybe it's all just a bait and switch to launch that Obi-Wan movie, and Rey is just a nobody with dead drunk parents because just make her a Kenobi, gosh! Rey Kenobi, y'all. I'm just saying, the name sounds awesome. But anyway, back to Solo. Han shot first, him and Chewie won the Falcon fair and square, Darth Maul's got new legs, and Lando's probably off to find a city in the clouds. Pretty easy Star Wars film.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
So those are my loose thoughts on Solo, a Star Wars story. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. Did anything impress you? Did it disappoint you? What are your theories about the new plot twists? I'd love to hear them. That's all for now. Thank you again for watching. It is Infinity War time, so we are going to be busy for a while, but I just wanted to let you know that we are working on that at the moment. Until then, be sure to like and subscribe, follow us on Instagram, watch How Black Panther Should Have Ended again, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye!